Sometimes the cold isn't just physical. Sometimes it creeps deep into your soul, leaving only fear and shadows behind. Christmas Eve had always been special for Oya. She loved decorating the house, hanging up garlands, and savoring the scent of pine. But this year was different. Her parents had gone to visit friends, leaving her home alone. It's fine, she thought. It's just one night. She spent the evening sipping hot cocoa and watching old Christmas movies. When the clock struck midnight, Olia decided it was time to sleep. She turned off the lights, leaving only the soft glow of the garlands on the Christmas tree. But sleep wouldn't come. The house was quiet, too quiet. Suddenly she heard a creaking noise. At first she thought it was her imagination, but then the sound came again. It was like slow, deliberate footsteps somewhere downstairs. Olia froze. Maybe I forgot to lock the door, she wondered. She grabbed her phone, but the screen was dead. The battery had drained. She closed the computer and sat cross-legged in the chair. Summoning her courage, Olia crept downstairs, holding a candle in her trembling hand. The living room seemed untouched, everything in its place. But on the floor, near the tree, she noticed something strange. Wet footprints, as if someone had just come in from the snow. "Who's there?" she called out, trying to sound brave, though her heart pounded wildly. The only response was a faint sound of breathing, cold and raspy, coming from the shadows. And then she saw it. In the corner of the room, near the window, stood a figure, tall, unnaturally thin, with long arms that reached almost to the floor. Its eyes glowed with an intense blue light, and icy vapor escaped its mouth with each breath. "I've been waiting," it said, its voice like the crackling of frozen branches. Olia stepped back, holding the candle between herself and the figure. "What do you want?" she stammered. "To talk," it replied, taking a step forward. Its movements made the floor creak like cracking ice. Olia saw frost spreading across the floor around it. Her breath caught in her throat. Olia kept her hand on Olia's arm, propelling her carefully through the flow of crowds. Green foliage covered the ground, her feet scarcely touching it. "You let me in," it said, stopping just a few feet from her. "I come to those who are alone on these festive nights." Impressive, Claire thought, and sat down beside the fire. "But I didn't ask for you to come," she cried, retreating further. "Loneliness always invites me," it said. Its voice carried a strange melancholy. "You celebrate Christmas, but do you understand what it truly means?" She remained silent, unable to answer. "This is the night when light conquers darkness," it continued. "But those who forget, that only see the shadows." The creature's glowing eyes burned brighter, and the room grew even colder. The Christmas lights on the tree flickered out, leaving only the faint glow of the candle in her hand. "Who are you?" she finally managed to whisper. The figure tilted its head, and for a moment it seemed to chuckle softly. "I am the one who brings the night," it said, but you can change it. The reference immediately drew my attention to the phrase. For the first time, I thought of the creature extended one long, bony hand toward her. If you wish to banish me, ignite the light within your heart. Christmas is not just a holiday. It's the moment when even the darkest night can become bright. Ulya didn't understand what it meant, but something in her told her it wasn't lying. Gathering her strength, she closed her eyes and recalled the joy of past Christmases. She thought of singing carols with her family, of laughter and the warmth of love. When she opened her eyes, the room was glowing again with the lights of the garlands. The figure was gone. The face was gone. The floor was still coated with a thin layer of frost, and near the tree she found a small, icy star. Olya spent the rest of the night feeling an unfamiliar sense of peace. She didn't know if it had been a dream or reality, but one thing was certain: loneliness would never have power over her again.